Morning, guys. We're out here on the water. Beautiful Lake Acworth in Georgia. We're trying to get on that springtime bass. I took a day off work just so I can get out here on the water. So hopefully we have some good luck, but either way, we're gonna have fun. I'd like to just share a little bit of my faith with you guys. I'm a believer of Jesus. I believe that he came to this earth and paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we may have eternal life if we just confess with our mouths that he is Lord and believe in our heart that God raised him from the dead, that we'll have eternal life in him and just get to be up in heaven one day and just enjoy that. Say a quick prayer and then let's get to fishing. Father God, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for the ability to get out on the water and enjoy your nature. Even if there are machines in the background making noise, God, we thank you for this time. We ask that you would bless it. Bless all the people watching this video, God. I pray that you would speak to them and let them know that you love them. I love you, Jesus, and it's your name we pray. Amen. Let's get to fishing. All right. Conditions. It's about 58 degrees out right now. The water is still pretty chilly, but we're definitely in the spring season. We got the pollen everywhere here in Georgia. You can see a little bit of it on the lake right there. The trees are starting to blossom and flowers are blooming. So we're going to be up here in a lot of this kind of thick cover, but pretty shallow. Hoping to find some bass on beds or making their way to beds or already in the spawn. I'm not sure where they're at right now, but we're going to hit up some of this area right here and see if we can get ourselves a fish. Today I'm throwing a drop shot. I also have a jig tied on, black and blue jig, and a hybrid hunter that's tied on from last time I went fishing, but we'll see. I might throw it a couple times just to see if I get a bite. I doubt it. I think it's going to fish pretty slow today, and hopefully we hook into some big ones. Let's have some fun. Got a little nibble. There he is, boys. Yes, sir. Got our first one. Right in the roof of the mouth, right where you want them. I'll tell you, if you're not using a drop shot, you're missing out. The fish love it. It's a very simple technique. You just toss it right out there, hook them. You feel that little tick, let them bite it a little bit, and you just lift straight up. Man, you hook them up every time. Nice little, I'd say 1 pounder, not too big, but hey, that's a great way to start the day. Been out on the water for maybe 10 minutes, and that's what we're looking for right there. Beautiful bass. Got the red eyes. This looks like a male, so maybe there's a female right here as well. I'm gonna let this guy go. I'll do a release video real quick and get back to it. Bye-bye, buddy. Go get big. All right, just to show you guys real quick what a drop shot looks like if you've never seen it or heard about it. It's basically you got a hook up here with your line ran through the eye of the hook. Mine's a little twisted right now, and then you have a long tag line with the sinker on the bottom. So if you imagine in the water, the sinker's on the bottom and that worm's just sitting there dangling, and the bass can't help but to gobble it up. I'll record a video on how I rig this up and what tackle I use, but it's a very simple technique, and I'll explain a little more as I make my next couple casts. I'm gonna cast right back where I caught that bass. I'm gonna see if the female's there. Usually the females are a little bit bigger this time of year, probably all year round. I've been bass fishing for about 2 years now, pretty consistently. So I'm still learning a lot. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. If you haven't checked out Tyler's Real Fishing on YouTube, also Georgia Bassmasters and North Georgia Fishermen, I think it is. I'll link them below. But these guys, I mean, I watched a lot of their videos and they are very helpful, very forthcoming with information. They want to teach you as much as possible. So I'm trying to get my own channel going and kind of mirror what they did, and because I enjoyed it and it helped me become a better fisherman. So I figured, you know, why not enjoy, while I'm out here enjoying it, why not you know, teach you guys a thing or two if possible. And if you have advice for me, I am definitely humble enough to admit that I don't know everything about bass fishing. I'm sure I'll make mistakes throughout these videos, as well as ideas of how I can make the channel better, better quality camera. Had the GoPro all charged up last night, and I went to use it this morning, and it was dead for some reason. So I don't know, I gotta check that out. But I'm using my iPhone, so if the audio is bad, I apologize for that, but give me some grace. This is my first time recording myself fishing, and hopefully it gets better and better from here. All right, I'm gonna cast back over where I caught that first fish, see if the female's there. So with the drop shot, you want to just kind of pick an area, cast right out to it, let it sink all the way to the bottom. This is really shallow, so I didn't leave my spool open, so it's already at the bottom. But if you're fishing in a little bit deeper water, make sure you let it sink all the way to the bottom. Once you do that, you want to reel up the slack until the line's pretty taut, and then you just want to tap, 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 tap. You're maybe moving the tip of the rod maybe 2 or 3 inches. You're just tapping, tapping, tapping a couple times, and then you reel in the slack, and then start tapping again. I like to keep my rod tip, you know, about a little higher than 45 degrees. Make sure that line is tight, because sometimes the taps, like the one I just caught, it's so subtle, it's just like a little tick. So make sure that you're keeping it finessey. You want a light or a medium rod at most. I prefer fast action on it. Definitely a spinning reel. You definitely want to go more finessey on this setup, just to let you feel that bite a little bit better. So we're gonna try this area one more time, see if I can get me another bass out of there. I keep drifting as well. I apologize for all the weird camera angles if they seem a little weird, but trying to keep you guys centered. Tap, 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 tap. Let it sit for a second. Reel in the slack. Tap, 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 tap. As you're tapping, the sinker is bouncing on the bottom. So, and sometimes you can just leave the sinker still, or the weight still on the bottom, and just tap, and the worm will wiggle in the water, and then you can lift up to move your worm, and then let it come back to the bottom, and then just keep repeating the same process over and over. All right, I'm gonna try one more cast out here, and then we'll move somewhere else real quick. Get up in the grass a little bit. I might get hung up here, but that's okay. A lot of times bass are not out in the wide open, so sometimes you got to fish that cover and take the risk of getting hung up. That's where I've caught my best bass, is right up in the either the rocks or the weeds or sticks. That's where they like to be. They like to be under some cover. They are a predatory fish, so they're always in an ambush position, waiting to attack other fish and get their meal. So get up in there. Don't be afraid of getting stuck. Just make sure you have a favorite lure. Make sure you have more than one of them, because you'll definitely lose some lures. Another great place to fish any time of the year really is points. So this right here doesn't look like a point, but I can see that the land comes out and creates like a high spot in the water. So the bass like to hang out on those, or on just one side of that high spot and wait for fish to come cruising over top, and then they get them. But we're gonna try this point out a couple times and then go up a little bit further to some more of that grass up there, and then we're gonna go back the other way and fish some more of the bank. And I got some grass on my lure. Yeah. Big old bass just swirled out in front of me. Definitely gonna go try out there. Something I was always told as a kid, I don't know if you guys were told the same thing, that fish can hear you talking. I think my grandpa told me that on his boat just so I would be quiet. I've been fishing with my buddy on his boat, and we're constantly talking the whole time we're out there, and have no problem catching the fish. So I think that's just a wise way for grandparents and parents to keep their kids from talking while they're trying to enjoy fishing. I say that, but since I've been talking more, I haven't caught another one, so I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit and just let you guys enjoy the sounds of the birds and the nature. I think I might have another one. If I do, it's a little one. I do have another one. Man, I told you that the bites are so subtle on this. Oh, look at that jump. Hopefully that got caught on camera. He's not too little. Let's get him. Oh, okay. He's got some backbone to him. Some shoulders, as my buddy would say. Let's get him on in here. Ooh, that one's got a nice sore on him. Looks like he got stabbed in the back by a bird. That's a little better than the last one. I got him hooked pretty good. It's not in the lip. I hardly felt that bite, guys. But that's a nice bass right there, man. That's a 1.5, 2 pounder right there. Let me grab my pliers so I can get him out without hurting them. Didn't have a good grip on them, but now I do. Get that hook out of you, buddy. There we go. Man, that's a nice fish right there. A nice belly on him, thick tail. Beautiful fish. He does have a big sore on his back. I don't know if you guys can see that. But you see that big sore there? Looks like a predatory fish or a predatory bird came down and poked him right in his back. So we're gonna get him back in the water and let him get back to healing. Good luck, buddy. Pray that gets better for you. Let's do a little release on this one. Go get bigger, buddy. Man, that's fun. All right. So another little secondary point right up here. While I was tying on, I saw some fish jumping out there. So I think this is a pretty good little honey hole right here. Let's see if we can catch some more. I don't know if that was a bite or if I was just a little hung up. We'll find out though if he comes back and bites it again. I'm right next to a golf course too, and they're out here getting the greens prepped for the day, so apologies if you can hear that in the background. I think I'm getting hung up on some weeds down there, but I'm not certain. If you are getting bites, or you think you're getting bites, and you're not actually hooking the fish, there's a good chance that you can throw right back in there, and if you were getting a bite, you can get that same fish to bite again. Once they get hooked, they tend to back off a little bit, but if you don't actually hook them, there's a good chance that they'll bite you again. So let's see if we have any luck here.
Let's go a little bit further up. Just a little bit, because I think there's quite a bit of fish right here in front of me. I don't want to go too fast and go right past them or spook them off. So I'm going to just kind of cruise on up here, nice and slow, stealthy. Get back there in that pocket a little bit.
Alright, I'm going to try to toss around the black and blue jig a little bit, see if I can hook up on something with this.
The reason I knew that fish was attacked by a predatory bird is because they're all around here. The osprey and eagles that fly over this lake, mostly osprey. But man, it's really cool to watch. They fly way up in the air and they hover around and then they just dive straight down into the water. And they probably go, I would say, anywhere from just a couple inches up to like a foot and a half into the water to get these fish out, man. It's really cool to watch. And they come flying up out of the water and have a big old fish in their hand. And man, it's really cool. Hopefully I can catch one on video of them doing it.
I haven't fully learned how to fish a jig, so if you got comments or suggestions for me on how I could do this a little bit better, please drop them below. But I'm learning, trying to fish something that I'm not so comfortable with. The drop shot is definitely my go-to, and I use it most often. when I'm doing this type of fishing. I also love moving baits, you know, chatter baits, spinner baits. Just felt like it's a slower kind of day today. So I was trying to fish some things that I knew would bug these bass if it got up on their bed. But yeah, always looking to make myself learn new things. Like I said, I've only caught, I think, maybe 1 or 2 fish on a jig. I just don't fish it that often. I think I'm gonna set it down and get the drop shot back out for this good little area right here. Like I said, I think I might have tied my worm a little too close to my hook. Actually, I know I did. I like to have, you know, at least maybe 8 inches or more of tag end from my hook to my sinker, and I just don't have that right now. But we'll see if I can hook one up, and maybe it just doesn't matter and I'm, you know, just too particular about how much length I have. I would say the shallower the water, the easier it is to get away with something like this. And I'm maybe in, you know, 3 foot of water right now, so it's probably not too big of an issue. So hopefully I can just hook one up and get my confidence back a little bit that I don't need to retie this thing. All right, to tie that drop shot, what you're gonna need is a little hook, something just like this, not too big. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna tie a Palomar knot, but instead of leaving just a little bit of tag end that you're gonna cut off, you're gonna leave a long tag end. I like to pull out, you know, maybe 18 inches, maybe even 24, just to give yourself a little bit of play. But yeah, tie a nice, I like to use Palomar knot. You can use whatever knot you like. I like to tie the Palomar though, because it's been durable for me. It's held up well. Haven't had a lot of, you know, break offs or anything like that. But the important part of a drop shot is, you know, you have the hook and then you have this long tag end. I have, you know, about a foot, 14 inches or so. What you want to do with that tag end is take your hook like this and take the tag in and put it right through the eye of the hook. And then pull that tag in all the way through. And then make sure the knot kind of goes through as well. Because what you want at the end of it is for your hook to be facing horizontal. So you'll have your sinker down here and your hook will be hanging like that. And it helps with that hookup ratio. When the fish bite it and you set the hook goes right into the roof of their mouth. That's exactly what you want. It makes it a good hookup. It's easy to get out and you don't hurt the fish at all. More than you need to. I'm sure having a hook, you know, in your mouth doesn't feel too great, but if you're here watching this channel, you don't mind that. And just for the record, I do like to keep my fish a lot. Because I'm out here in the kayak. And it's a little harder to drag around, and I wanted to record a good video for you guys when I have my live well that hangs off the back of my kayak. And I also recently, you know, the last 2 fishing trips I went on, I've kept fish, and I have a decent amount of fish in my freezer right now, so my family's good. We don't need the meat right now, but that's better. I like the longer tag in there, and that allows the, you know, the worm to sit a little higher in the water column. Gets the fish's attention a little better, in my opinion. If I want to drag something on the bottom, I'll throw the jig out there, and that's it. This is a little bit of a grass point right here. Let's try this out and see how we do. Yes, sir. Oh, he broke off. Or he got off, should I say. I was trying to readjust the kayak to get a better angle on it, but man, I had a feeling there was a fish there right here on this point of the grass here. And there was. I hooked him. and he came right off. So I always like to check my hook. Everything looks good. I think I just had a bad hook set on him. I think I felt the bite and got excited and lifted up too quick. Yeah, like I said earlier in the video, once you hook a bass, they're most likely not going to bite again. There could be another one hanging out with them, so we'll try. Whenever you get a bite, it's always good to throw back in there. But yeah, the better you hook them, the less likely they are to bite again, from my experience. Just like a human, if you try something and it hurts, you're most likely not gonna, try it again without at least changing something. All right, I found a little open spot right here in the middle of all of these beads. Let's see if we can't get hooked up on one. A little bit of a bite, I think. Go ahead and take it. Check my hook set up real quick. Make sure it's good. Try to. Trying to get back in there. See if we can't catch him. Yep, there he is. As soon as it hit the water, man, he was biting. All right, come on in here. This one's got a little bit of shoulders too. It doesn't feel very big, but he's definitely got some fight in him. There we go. Got him in the bottom of the mouth. That does not happen often when you're fishing the drop shot. Yeah, he must have bit this thing as it was falling down, man. It's an aggressive bass right there. All right. It's number 3 on the day. Again, healthy bass, man. Nice thick tail. thick belly. And there he goes, just like that. Trying to transition the hands, and he jumped right out. Let's go. Man, that's fun. If you don't enjoy fishing, I mean, I guess if you don't like the outdoors too much, I understand. I get it. But man, there's nothing that kind of just gets my blood flowing more than hooking into a fish and fighting them into the boat. And man, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And this worm is getting close to being done. A little trick is you can always bite the tip off that you've had your hook in, and then it still looks the same and it gets rid of that tear. We're gonna try again right here. Just wondering if there's a bigger female close by. But man, as soon as that hit the water, it had to have been falling down when he bit it. I don't think I've ever hooked I think I just had another bite right there. I don't think I've ever hooked a fish in the bottom lip with a drop shot. That was strange. All right, let's get on over here to this next spot. I'm gonna try out this point right here. The points seem to be holding them today, specifically up on the bank. So I'm gonna ease my way up here, cast around the edges a little bit, and then get up on that point all the way up there. The wind's working against me a little bit here, so I might be drifting backwards most of the time I'm fishing, which isn't fun. But it's part of the game in the kayak when you don't have, the fancy equipment, the trolling motor or the foot pedal, or even the forget what it's called, but it's slipping my mind right now. But basically the power pole. There you go. Power poles in the back. Don't have any of that, so I'm gonna be drifting backwards. But I'll keep quarter paddling to keep myself lined up for you guys. Only gonna try a few casts here. It doesn't look too fishy to me. And the biggest bass I caught in this lake was right up there where that tree, that red orange tree up there on the corner. That's where I caught probably a 4.5, 5 pound largemouth last year in the spring. So I'm hoping to get back over there. Thought about starting there, but figured I'd try out a new spot. It paid off. Earlier in the video I said that I've been out here for 2 hours, 2.5 hours even, and it was only an hour and 20 minutes when I said that. So in an hour and 20 minutes I caught 3 fish. I had like 2 other bites that I missed, so that's a pretty good start. That's some pretty active fishing on this lake. And then I did end up catching one with the camera turned off. Didn't realize that my camera was turned off, so we won't count that one. So I'm at 3 with an asterisk. Let's try one more cast right here. and if we don't catch anything, we'll move on. Looks like there's a, oh, that was a back cast, but that was looking up ahead of me. But it looks like there's a pretty good fishy spot back there in that corner. Turn myself a little bit. Back there in that corner. So we'll try this cast one more time. There we go. Drag it across this point. See if we can't catch something, and then if not, we'll go try over there. Although that guy's mowing over there, so that would be probably pretty annoying to listen to on the video. We'll see if he's done by the time I get over there. Oh, man. I thought I felt a bite. It kept nibbling it. And then I went to set the hook, and I think it was a little one. Because it just felt like yeah, you can see my worm. He had a hold of it, and he just didn't have the hook all the way in his mouth. I think he just had the tail end of the worm. You can see where it flipped it back up and hooked itself. So definitely didn't have it all the way in his mouth, which makes me think that it was a smaller one. And just the fact that I could barely feel it tapping it. So we'll try one more time and then move on, because I don't know if this one is even big enough to get the whole worm in his mouth. Yeah, another little baby one just jumped up there. This might be just a little school of babies. Or it could even be some crappie or crappie, however you guys say it where you're from. I'm from Ohio originally, and that's something else I guess I could get into. From Ohio originally, born in Tennessee. My dad was in the military, he was a Marine. Thank you for all the men and women of the armed forces out there. Appreciate your service. But my dad was in the Marines, and we traveled around a lot when I was a baby, and even before I was born. But I was born in Tennessee. My parents were from Ohio originally. So I moved to Ohio probably before I was even 2 years old. And from the time I was 2 until I was about, 27, I lived in Ohio. And then I had a mentor of mine, a boss at my company, who moved down here to Georgia and took a job with a competitor. And then another one of my mentors from the same company, who was also one of my managers, moved with them, and they recruited me to come down here to Georgia about 5 years ago now. So I've been here ever since. We love Ohio. That's where our family is. We're big Buckeyes fans, but we've lived in Georgia now for 5 years, and we've really gotten used to the weather. We love just the spot where we live in. We're about 20-30 minutes from the mountains and 30 minutes from Atlanta. So we're in a good spot down here in Georgia, and we love it. We love the weather. The pollen's a little rough, as you can see in the lake, but I don't have bad allergies, thank God for that. So it doesn't bug me too much. But other than that, the only other complaint is the humidity in the summer. But what I love about Georgia as far as weather goes is you get 4 to 5, sometimes even 6 months of like this type of weather where it's very nice out. It's anywhere from upper 50s to lower 80s, and you get that for an extended period of time. The spring and the fall is the longest portion of the year down here. The winter's very bearable, not bad at all. If you're from up north where I'm from, you know that Ohio and places like Ohio, it can get pretty rough during the winter. Get down in the negative teens and have a foot of snow and ice and having to deal with all that and dig your way out just to go to work, and scrape the ice off your windows. It's not fun, in my opinion. I'd rather have this weather, but I do miss my family. I do miss being around my siblings and my friends from back home as well. But we've built a good life down here. We're plugged into a local church. I highly recommend, if you're not plugged into a local church, that you get plugged in. For us, that's the way that we found community. Just like-minded individuals that love Jesus and love us and love our family. And it's been a way that we've been able to really make ourselves feel at home down here in Georgia, so far away from our family. But that was a long little spiel there, but yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little background on myself. This is the spot back here that I thought looked a little fishy, so let's try it out and quit all the talking and get back to fishing. Alright. The wind's pushing me away from the bank, which I don't like, but that breeze does feel good, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. Besides, if I complain too much, you guys are going to be annoyed, Nobody wants to listen to somebody complain while they're taking a day off of work and enjoying a nice day on the water. I have nothing to complain about. Only thanks and praise to give to God for providing a job like a job that I have, that allows me to enjoy some paid time off. I'm actually getting paid to be out here on the water, which that's the real dream job. To do this for a living, just come out here, 4 or 5 days a week and make money off of YouTube or whatever the case may be, sponsors, or I could be getting a bite right now and I don't know it because I'm hung up in these little reeds and I don't want to ruin my cast. I'm trying to get my line unstuck without, there we go. I think somebody just hit their golf ball a little too far and it came flying into the water. No way. Oh, dang. Show you what I just did, guys. I just took my bait like this and dropped it right down in there. And I let it sink all the way to the bottom. And then when I lifted up, I had a bass hook just like I do right now. No way. Oh, I think I got a stick this time. Anyways, I had a bass hooked and he swam me under a log and broke off, or jumped off. There we go, guys. Got me a nice bass. Got the groundskeeper giving me a thumbs up. Got the golfer giving me a thumbs up. Got me a nice one. Alright, let's put him back. Get bigger, buddy. It's number 5 on the day. 4th one on camera, but caught 5. I've missed I don't even know how many, probably about 6 fish I've missed. So I could be in the double digits by now if I would have landed all the ones that I missed, but just kind of out here just having fun. It's only like my 3rd or 4th time out for the season, so I'm knocking the rust off a little bit, relearning some bad habits, or unlearning some bad habits that I pick up every time I'm, not fishing for a while. Just poor hook sets, and not gonna lie, the recording has added an extra challenge to it as well. I'm not used to that. I'm trying to make sure that you guys can see pretty well when I'm landing these fish, so that adds an extra challenge to it for sure. But it's no excuse to be missing as many fish as I have. But hey, you know what? Regardless of how many fish I've missed, I'm glad we're catching them. I'm glad I'm getting bit. If I was out here and not even getting bit at all, that would be not ideal. But I think I would still be enjoying myself being out here on the water. It's nice and calm, relaxing, enjoyable. But sure is fun to catch them, so hopefully we can catch a few more before we're done for the day. Let's see what we can do. See what we can string together here. Push myself off this rock. All right, my phone died while I was out there on the water, so didn't get to record an outro video, but made it home. Didn't catch any more fish while we were out there on the water, but that's okay. We had a good day. We caught about 5 bass, 4 on camera, so we'll say 4, but I did end up catching 1 off camera. But caught 5 bass in about 3.5 hours, so that's a pretty good day out there on that lake. Like I said, it doesn't produce super high volumes, but it's fun, it's local, it's really close to me, so it's easy for me to get out there on it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the first of many, so thank you for watching it, being an OG to the channel. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Can't say how often I'll be posting videos, but as often as I can. I'm gonna try to get out there on the water a lot this summer and spring, and just record as much content as I can. Thanks for following along. One more message for you. God is for you, and so are we. All right, guys. Peace.